I came to Denver as a blank canvas. Denver itself was a blank canvas. It's really hard to be a self-taught artist and an artist of color in a city where there is no history kept of any of that, you know, of any artist of color before you. My heritage does influence my work, but at the end of the day, I'm more influenced by what I'm seeing on a day-to-day basis. I have to know who I am before I step to the canvas. This is a conversation I'm having. So if I don't know my opinions and who I am, I can't have this conversation. There's no point in having this conversation because I'm not bringing anything to the table. I feel like I'm really just a citizen of the world because people try to place me in boxes I don't belong in. Say I'm a kid from Matonge, from a Congolese neighborhood founded in the heart of Brussels. I'm first generation Western. I've lived most of my life in the United States. My sisters, they call me Bravo. My mother calls me Leo. So to the world, I'm Bumbakini, the artist. I'm from a tribe called the Yaka, which is part of the Kuba tribe, which was a great kingdom in Central Africa. I trace all the way back to the Pygmies, and I'm blessed because I know my history, and I know many people with my same skin color, especially those of us that live in America. They don't know those histories. They don't know where they can trace their lineage back, and that's something that I carry with me, and that's something that's prevalent in my art as well. Art, you know, I guess in a sense has been my whole life because my mother's an art curator. So I grew up and was born into a household that was centered around art. When I was actually in the womb, my mother was setting up her first exhibition in Belgium as a curator. So I think really just from naissance, from the start. I believe art comes from within. It's not like a 9-to-5 thing, you know. It's like you gotta be ready to create. I think that hopefully the art, you know, in this generation, the black artists can talk about more than just being a black artist or being a person of color in the world. I hope that we can get to a point where we could just make whatever we want that has nothing to do with our race, things of that nature. You know, I think it's time. The time is also now for the black artists to be liberated. You know, I grew up in museums that didn't have any black bodies represented at all, you know. And these are great painters like, you know, Flemish, Dutch masters. Never seen any art from people like me in a museum. So I want to change that narrative, so that's why I'm here. And that's my life mission. I'm not gonna stop till it happens, and if it doesn't happen, I'm gonna open a museum of my own. So that's what's gonna happen. My people are gonna be represented, and different voices of all kinds will be represented. I think this is the time is now. For me, today is one of the best times to be alive as an African, among African Americans, because there's a lot more openness around the conversations around lineage, around people are actually doing their DNA tests to figure out where they're from in Africa and what those cultures behold and what histories they haven't known before. So it's really interesting to see how it's transitioned over time. Subtle changes, some more overt. Definitely when Black Lives Matter was ramping up in the States, and you saw a lot of demonstrations and supporters of an equal United States come out and hit the streets. I think my art took the same tone. It became very in-your-face approach. I just channel what's going on in the world. I just channel what I dream about. I channel experiences I have in life or experiences that others share with me. I try to find spaces within canvases and within other works to illustrate those things that I picked up on and my spirit is deliberating on. So my art really is, for me, it's something that's, it's not of me, I think it's of the world. And I'm just a vessel for it a conduit for it to be, you know, shared with others and talked about. I think that messages and what is involved in your artwork does change over time. You know, you have different experiences, you grow, you become a father or mother, you lose people, and maybe that brings you to new realizations. And me, I think my art is all about just life. It's about, like, what is this life? Art is one of the only ways we have to differentiate ourselves from other species of animals, and it shows there's more to the human than there are to most animals on this world. So if I told you the message behind my art, you know, I think there'd be no point for you to actually explore and discover what those messages are. So I can't really tell you what that is, what those messages are. If they're one message, if they're multiple messages, I think that's for you, the viewer, to figure out what the message is. And if some things are gonna make obvious and over the top, but why are those things obvious and why are other things not obvious? And there's a lot of nuances to artwork, and especially being a neo-expressionist, you know, abstract painter, the nuances can be endless and limitless. So, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and say that my art is not about nothing, because it's not about nothing, it's about something. And that's for you to figure out.